Alrighty guys, and welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at an educational informative build on Ghostface and why I recommend these current perks in the meta that we're currently in. You'll notice it's a little different to other people and we're going to walk through that real quick. But before we do that guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more educational survivor and killer content that I will be doing and posting up here on YouTube. And if you want to catch it live at hand, you can definitely do that by jumping over and checking us out at twitch.tv. So keeping that in mind, and you can pop in with all the other people and learn all these awesome builds and tips and tricks, or you can help me teach the new people as well if you think you know a lot about Dead by Daylight. But guys, let's jump straight in. We're going to be talking about Ghostface's ability, Night Shroud, straight away. Now, what does this do? Night Shroud is going to allow you to activate your special ability. Now, what is that exactly? Ghostface can press the right mouse button at any given time, and the red stain in his chest will disappear, his heartbeat will disappear, and he will enter stealth or be undetectable. He can still be detected through things like spine chill, so he's not technically undetectable, but this means you have no light in your heart. Or light in your heart? That sounds horrible. You have no light in your chest. So when a survivor runs around a wall and breaks your line of sight, rather than moonwalking and looking the opposite direction, you can easily just push the right mouse button, and this is going to allow you to have the light disappear in your chest, and you're going to be able to come around the corner and M1 the survivor, so keep that in mind. He might hesitate in that second too. What else can you do? You can push the control key and it will allow you to lower yourself to the ground really low. Okay, a lot of people do it to teabag. Keeping in mind, when you lower yourself, you see these tassels on his arm, they're much easier to see. Some of the skins come with smaller tassels, which some people could say is an advantage, but at the same time, it's pretty cool, not gonna lie. So what does Ghostface do? While his ability is activated, he has no heartbeat. He can M1 a survivor, which will end his ability. It'll then put it on a 30-second cooldown before he can activate it again. However, remember he has no heartbeat. If a survivor stares at Ghostface and has him in the middle of the screen, even in third person, for 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds, that will deactivate Ghostface's ability. While Ghostface's ability is activated, he'll be running with his knife up. When his ability is deactivated, he'll pull the knife back down and be walking. Therefore, you'll know if it's activated or not if you can't see the red stain in front of him. Keeping in mind, he doesn't need to be chasing you. You could be watching from the hill and break Ghostface out of his stalk. You'll get 500 points for it too, and he'll lose his ability. So you gotta be very careful about how you maneuver around the map for Ghostface for those current reasons. He can also do another thing. This is stalking, much like Michael Myers. Ghostface can stalk a survivor. Now I want to quickly point this out because a lot of people don't understand this. Ghostface does not have a range penalty like Michael Myers. The further away Michael Myers is from you when he stalks, the less stalk he gets. The closer he is, the more stalk he gets. Doesn't matter with Ghostface. Ghostface doesn't have a power-up ability with his stalk for him. It's a debuff for you. So Ghostface can stand and crouch or stand, doesn't matter either way. If he holds the right mouse button, he can look in the bottom left-hand side of the screen. You don't have an indicator for it, but you can prep a survivor. This means you're stalking them. If you stalk a survivor successfully for 5 seconds while they don't know you're stalking, you are going to be able to activate your ability. So you should do it for 4.9 seconds. If you do it for all 5 seconds, they will hear a sound. It'll say exposed on their screen, and there'll be a red timer around their name, which they can see in the bottom left, and you can also see as well. I want to quickly note as well, Ghostface can lean. He's the only killer in Dead by Daylight can lean. Rather than standing out in the open for 5 seconds trying to stalk somebody, if you lean behind a wall and peek from the side, you're going to do it in a 100% faster rate. 2.5 seconds of leaning behind something will allow you to be able to utilize this information. You're going to be able to prep them. Doesn't matter how far away they are. So if you spawn on a map like Thompson House and you're in the house at the start of the map, go upstairs, take a lean, look around corners. Doesn't matter how far away they are. You can stalk from a very generous distance, something like 45 meters away, to prep somebody. It can be very deadly and dangerous. Something I want to point out, a prepped survivor, if they break you out and you didn't tear up on them, and you M1 them or attack them, it'll still take 2 hits to put them in dying state. If they're exposed, it'll take 1 hit. Smart survivors will let you prep them, then when you pick up their teammate, they will force you to hit them while you're carrying, because while you're carrying a survivor, you can't activate your ability. You can't crouch, you can't stalk. Therefore, you'll have to hit the other survivor, resetting the stalk. So keep that in mind when you're playing Ghostface. You've got to be mindful with your time management when you choose to stalk, when you choose to not stalk. It's going to be very crucial and important to your success. So keeping that in mind, some people prepped and some people not prepped can be good or bad. Generally, if there's multiple targets on a Jenny, I will go for multiple stacks of Sloppy Butcher unless the Jenny's in an open field and on a map like the Disturbed Ward where I have a field advantage and I can see every point of the generator from upstairs. Keeping in mind, if a survivor breaks you out of stealth, while your ability is activated on them, you can still one-hit down them, providing you catch them in the 30-second timer. That can obviously be changed based on add-ons that Ghostface can choose to run as well. Alright, let's have a look at the build now that we understand the killer a little bit more with a quick nose scratch yet again. What are we looking at? We've got Corrupt Intervention. Corrupt Intervention is going to seal the 3 furthest away generators that is currently from your location when you spawn. That being said, the entity's hand will appear around the generators and they will be sealed. This generator will be glowing white for you to be able to see, but the survivors won't. They'll see the hands instead. The generator will not be able to be worked on for the next 120 seconds, those 3 generators. They're always the furthest 3 away generators from you, and that is good based on the fact that you're 115% moving to killer. You're kind of about stalking and prep, depending on how you want to play it as well. The next perk I have is Discordance. Discordance could be replaced with Thrilling Tremor or Barbecue and Chili. Why do I like Discordance? Because it goes hand in hand with Sloppy. What does Discordance do? When there's more than one target working on a generator, the generator will glow bright green, yellow. I will be able to see it from across the board. They have no indicator unless they understand that's when I'm coming over. It'll be making sound notifications for me to know that there's more than one target there. Then I know 2 people on a Jenny is going to take 47.5 seconds to be done as opposed to 80 seconds. So I can time manage myself around the board to be able to play around that. I can also go for Stalk, Lean. If people are stacking on a generator and I have multiple injured targets, I'm not going to go for the prep Lean Stalk. I'm just going to go in for the M1 down and play off that. The next perk I have is Pop Goes the Weasel. Pop Goes the Weasel allows me, after I hook a survivor, even though I have no information through Barbecue and Chili, Thrilling Tremor, or even Tinkerer, I have no information like that, I do have Discordance. After I hook a survivor, the next generator I regress is going to go back 25%. Therefore, 25% of a nearly completed generator is 20 seconds. So keeping that in mind, that's very good. And if I know where multiple people are working on gens, I know exactly where I need to apply my pressure. The next perk is Sloppy Butcher. Sloppy Butcher is going to allow me to injure multiple different survivors. When these survivors are currently injured, when they try and heal, it's going to take them longer. If they're using things like Inner Strength, which allows them to heal in a locker in 6 seconds, doesn't get affected by Sloppy Butcher. Adrenaline doesn't get affected by Sloppy Butcher. Botany Knowledge counters Sloppy Butcher as well, but this means if a survivor is going to heal with self-care, rather than take 32 seconds, it's going to take them 40 seconds. It takes a lot longer. It takes 80 seconds to do a Jenny yourself. If you're spending 40 seconds self-caring, that is a win in my book. Keeping in mind, I love Sloppy Butcher on Ghostface for a couple of reasons. In a perfect world, you're going to be able to stalk, lean, and M1 and down everyone in one hit. Well, unfortunately, it's not like that. A lot of people are going to be trying to keep you out of your stalk because it's got a 30-second cooldown, and they're going to be trying to help their friends out so your heartbeat's around the entire board. Keeping in mind, activating your Night Shroud counters borrowed time because you don't have a heartbeat during that. You can wait at the top of a staircase when somebody's at the bottom and lean if there's a wall, and it's going to take him more than 2.5 seconds to run up the stairs and down him straight away unless he had Sprint Burst, the other guy who just did the hook save. You can do that stalk real fast. The most crucial thing about Ghostface is learning to lean. Learning to lean is going to allow you to stalk twice as fast. The Ghostface that's out in the open and just walking around and crouching, he's not playing Ghostface the correct way. Now, there's no real correct way, but, he's not utilizing his ability to his maximum potential. Sloppy Butcher is going to help me keep the consistency. If multiple people are injured and they want to work on gens, then I can punish them by not going for the stalk and just M1ing them down. Now, a lot of Ghostfaces would swear by Nurses Calling and Thanatophobia and Ruin and Surveillance and all that stuff. This is what I run in the red ranks that gives me the most success. There's no luck involved. It's all about how I play the match. There's no Ruin and Surveillance combo to know. There's no Nurses Calling and hoping I get lucky and finding people group healing. It's all about what I can do in the time. Only thing that I would say would be luck dependent would be Discordance, knowing that they're stacking on a gen. If nobody stacks on a gen, I get no value out of the perk. But at the same time, because of Corrupt Intervention, I funnel them together through Discordance. So I'm more likely to get it to activate because of this wombo combo too. At the same time, a lot of people won't expect this kind of build on a Ghostface as it is slightly off meta. Still on meta, but off meta. Keeping in mind, like I said before, Sloppy Butcher, if you apply that to everyone, it'll apply always to your hit. If the guy's full health and you have him prepped and you then stalk him, boom, one hit down. You don't always have to walk around the board with Night Shroud active. If you activate Night Shroud, yes, you lose the light. Yes, you have no heartbeat. Yes, you can stalk. But the second that ends, when you hit a survivor, regardless, if I were to use this ability at the start of a trial, which you should, it doesn't go on cooldown until the ability has been used. Until I hit a survivor, until I get broken out of Stalk, then it goes on 30-second cooldown. Sometimes if you just hooked Jeff in the middle of the board and everyone knows where you are, you don't want to activate this. You want to pretend you have barbecue and chili straight away. You just hook Jeff, look at every single generator. Jeff's going to be like, oh, he's got barbecue and chili. Do you have barbecue and chili? You don't. You just mind game the shit out of Jeff. Now Jeff, when he gets off the hook and somebody else gets hooks, Jeff's going to jump into a locker thinking you have barbecue and chili. So you just mind game that guy with making him think you have a perk you don't have because you looked around. You could be going, I don't know which generator to go to, and Jeff's overthinking things with all these complicated things. So it's little plays like that that'll make the time difference you need to be able to get that generator with Pop Goes the Weasel, to be able to stall the timeout that you need, the Sloppy Butcher, to stall the game even longer, to have multiple people injured, to be able to go for the snowball potential. This can be a great build on Ghostface if you know how it works. If you don't know how it works, it can be hard. You do have the consistency through Sloppy Butcher if you get a bad map that's open like Blood Lodge. If you get a small map that's closed, you still have the consistency through Sloppy Butcher. If I just spawned a trial on an indoors map and more than 2 people were on a gen and I'm running over there, depending on the gen's location, 99.9 times I'm just going to run around the corner, I'm going to M1 a guy straight away, and then I'm going to I'm going to change target straight away to the next survivor. I'm going to try and get Sloppy Butcher on him, and then we'll see where we go from there. That will be my play. Unless I came around the corner, I just M1 a dude, and he literally runs to a dead zone, and I'm like, hey, you've got nothing to use. I'll punish him and down him for it. Because if I just M1 that guy, because think about the 2 ways this works. Discordance activates. There's 2, 3, or 4 people on this generator. I jump around the corner. I just M1'd Megan. Megan runs away. I chase Megan. If Discordance activates again, I know there were 3 people there. If it doesn't, I know there were 2 people there, meaning there's 1 person hiding there, or there's 1 person working on that gen, or there's 3 or 4 people. All those calculations happen straight away while you're in that chase with Jeff, if you're thinking right back there what is currently happening. So you can absorb that information and track players straight away while you're doing something else. Just comes down to a little bit of time, and these little tricks and tips will help you become a better killer, understand where your Pop the Weasel needs to go, and all these kind of things. But guys, that is going to be it for Ghostface. There's a lot of ways to run him. This is the build I recommend with no add-ons. If I was forcing like a game map, I would look at replacing Surge with Pop Goes the Weasel with Surge. I'd probably get rid of Corrupt Intervention because I was on the game, and I'd look at running Surveillance in Wake. I could also look at going Nurse's Calling, but a lot of people would predict Nurses, so I wouldn't run that if I would run those offerings. I'd look at running an add-on called the Chew Pen, which is going to reduce my cooldown by 5 seconds, therefore it'll take 25 seconds rather than 30 seconds when it comes out, and I'm not 100% sure on the other add-on. It'll depend if I'll be using multiple toolboxes. If I think I could get the lean stalks as well, could get Ghostface caught on tape. It depends on what we're looking at. Anyways guys, like I said, that is going to be all for the video. Make sure you like the video and you subscribe, and make sure you pop into the live streams where I stream DVD 5 days a week for more educational survivor and killer content, guys. Let me know in the comments down below, what build do you run on Ghostface? Do you think he's a strong killer? Do you feel that there could be things change? How do you play him? Do you go for the M1s? Do you go for the stalks? Let us know, guys. Anyways, take care, have a wonderful time, and I'll see you guys in the next video.